Get a behind the scenes of these Eggy animal crochet designs and find out what's coming next. Hi there, I'm Cilla from Cilla Crochets, and I'm here to cheer you on throughout your crochet journey, no matter what stage you're at. In this video, I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes of the crochet designing story behind these egg-shaped animals. This has become a bit of a tradition for me, releasing these egg-shaped animals for Easter each year, and I thought you might be interested to hear how it started and how it has grown over time. And most importantly, what's coming very soon this year. Also, before I get started and dive into this, all of these patterns that I'm sharing with you today are free. So you can find them on my blog. Yes, there are ads on my blog. That is how I make money, but you don't have to pay for them. You can access all of these crochet patterns for free on my blog. All the links are in the description below, so make sure you head there and have a look. I've linked to each individual pattern, so you can go straight to the one that you want to make. So grab your crochet project, hook, and a nice drink that you enjoy, and let me walk you through the Eggy crochet designs. The journey of the Eggy Paw Pals began in 2022 when I released these 5 egg-shaped animals that all have paws in real life. I came up with the idea for the Eggy Paw Pals because I was thinking about Easter crochet designs, and I knew people were after quick and easy crochet makes that they could use to either sell at craft fairs or crochet stalls, also for little Easter egg hunts or goodie bags on Easter, but also makes that require minimal sewing, because I don't know about you, but I very much so like avoiding sewing pieces together where I can. So that is one of the big pluses about all of the Eggy animals. There is minimal sewing in all of them. The other thing that led me to designing the Eggy Paw Pals was I had this box of Sirdar Happy Chenille. It looks like this. I have looked for it again and I can't find it, so if you can, hats off to you. But I had this box full of little mini balls of this chenille yarn, and I liked the idea of being able to make lots of little animals using these tiny mini balls of yarn. Here is one here as an example. That is what it looks like. So lots of different colours of the Sirdar Happy Chenille, and these are only 15 grams, so they're very small little balls of yarn. And when you make an Eggy, you don't even need a full one of these. It uses probably about half, just to give you an idea. So also a great scrap yarn project. Let's have a bit of a closer look at each of the animals. So this is the mouse, as you can tell. So with this one, the feet and tail are all crocheted on as you make the body, but the ears are sewn on afterwards. So it is minimal sewing. All you need to do is sew on the ears, not too much work. And then if you'd like to, some extra embroidery to create the character on the face. Then we have the bunny, which has the cutest little pom-pom tail in multicolour, which I really loved making. It also has a tiny little bow tie. I have a photo of me with an Easter bunny, like a person dressed up as an Easter bunny, when I was really tiny. I just remember wearing this like very pink suit with a big pink bow tie. So that's where I got the inspiration for the little bow tie on the bunny. And obviously very big ears, and also pink to match the suit from the image of when I was a child. I don't know where that image is. I wish I could show you, but I have no clue. It is seared into my memory. But that is the bunny. Then we have the bear. I've got a little green bear, and my favourite part of him is his little face, the embroidered face. Now, I will say the pattern doesn't show you how to embroider. It basically says, you know, embroider a face, and it gives you a close-up of the face. So a little bit of embroidery experience is needed if you want to do that. However, you could also put a different face on it. I think he looks a little bit grumpy. I don't know about you. Next one is the cat. So again, with the cat, the feet and the tail are sewn on as you make the body. I mean, are crocheted on, sorry, not sewn on. Are crocheted on when you make the body. However, the ears are sewn on. So there's a little bit of sewing, also a little bit of embroidery, but that is the cat. And then my favorite of the collection, don't tell any of them, but is the little dog. So for the dog, the ears, feet, and tail are all crocheted on as you go. So this is completely no sew, except for, of course, the face embroidery. The only challenging thing with the little dog is you've got some colour changing, but it's not too difficult, I promise, and the pattern explains how to do it really clearly. So that is the first Eggy animal collection I designed in 2022. They're called the Eggy Paw Pals. I love a bit of alliteration, and you'll notice how I've carried that on year, but they're really quick, really easy to make, and while, you know, it is helpful to have a little bit of crochet experience, most beginners would also be able to learn these as long as they know some basic stitches. So that is those. Let's fast forward to 2023. In 2023, it was the Eggy Farm Friends, so all farm related animals. We've got a cow, we've got a hen. This is Hetty the hen. I gave them all names for this collection as well, whereas the Eggy Paw Pals, they were just known as Eggy Cat, Eggy Dog, etc. But these ones were all published individually with their own little characters and names. So this is Peter the pig, and this is a little sheep, which I love. So one thing you may notice about these creations compared with the Eggy Paw Pals is they're a little bit more difficult. So they're still explained in a way that most beginners or people that only know basic stitches of crochet should be able to make, but there's a few extra elements. So for example, with the cow, we've incorporated some bobble stitches for the horns. The other thing is we've got a little mouthpiece that we've sewn on afterwards. The feet, even the tail, which is quite cool. I like the multicolored tail. And the ears are all crocheted on as you make the body, but you'll see that there are some color changes on the body as well to create those spots. So a little bit more challenging than the Eggy Paw Pals, but totally worth it, and if you follow the pattern, you'll be fine. All of them have been tested by multiple people, so the pattern works, and you'll be all good to go. The hen, I am a little bit obsessed with. I love how Hetty the hen turned out. So you've got the tail feathers, a little beak, everything is crocheted on as you make Hetty, except for the feathers, basically. So the feathers on the top of the head and the feathers on the tail. Then with Peter the pig, again, you've got this extra mouthpiece that is sewn on after you've made Peter, but the ears, his little curly tail, which I love, and the feet are all crocheted on as you make his body. And the sheep, now this one is a little bit complicated. So we've got the feet, the tail, the ears, they are all crocheted on as you make the body. But you'll notice, for one, the face is color changes, and how we get the texture on, of the wool is by doing lots of little chains as you crochet the stitches. So there's not like tying off, you basically create these little loops around the body as you're crocheting the body, and that is how you get the textured wool effect. That is explained in the pattern, but it's probably one of the most complicated eggies out of all of them so far to make. So if you are a beginner, I wouldn't tackle this one first. That is my top tip. But that is 2003's release for the Eggies. Then we go to last year, 2024. In 2024, I released the Eggy Mythical Mates. So these are obviously mythical creatures and animals. And there were only 2 that I got to design last year. So unfortunately, numbers-wise, they have reduced year on year, but this year is going to change, and I can't wait to show you what's coming next. However, let me show you what came out last year. This is a little phoenix. I am so proud of how this one turned out. His name is Percival the Phoenix, and you've got some gorgeous wings that do stay out without any wires or anything. That's simply just yarn. You've got a really cute tail, which I was inspired by Hetty the Hen's tail. Some cute little, you know, tufts of fur at the top. Now with this one, the only elements that are crocheted on as you make the body are the feet and the beak. Everything else, so basically the hair and the wings, are sewn on afterwards. So there's a little bit more sewing for this one, but I think it's worth it. And then we have a unicorn. Now, you may notice quite different in size. That isn't because they're actually a different pattern. That just goes to show that my tension was extremely different when I crocheted this one versus this one. So that's my mistake. I really should make this little one again. But this is a unicorn. As you may see better side on. So you've got the horn, little ears, some hair, and lovely tail, and a tiny little nose. So for this one, it's just the ears and feet that were crocheted on as you make the body. Everything else, so the little mouth, the horn, and the hair are all sewn on afterwards. But I was very excited about the idea of the mythical mates last year, and I hope you like them. One of the things to mention as well is when I started making all of these Eggy animal designs, I mentioned I started using this Sirdar Happy Chenille, and I was working my way through the box of different colours that I had, which I have still not successfully finished. I've still got quite a bit of Sirdar Happy Chenille left, and you know, that's a good thing because it means I can make more Eggies. But when I did the Mythical Mates, it was around about the same time that Rico Design brought out their new small chenille yarn called Nilli. So it's Ricorumi Nilli. So these two, I actually, you know, caved and bought some Ricorumi Nilli so I could try it out and, you know, compare it to the Happy Chenille. As a quick review, so to speak, I like them both. I would say the Ricorumi feels a bit smaller than the Happy Chenille by Sirdar. So, you know, you can even tell when you look at the yarn there that this one looks a little bit thicker than this one does. While that's the case, I have still been using the same sized crochet hook, which is a 2.5mm for these Eggy designs. I have, however, said, because I know in the US that 2.5mm isn't actually a US, there's no US size crochet hook equivalent to that unless you go and buy a 2.5mm. I don't know where you can get them from in the US. But you could go down or go up a hook size, so use a 2.25mm or a 2.75mm, and I am confident to say that you would be fine crocheting these Eggies with that crochet hook. It just depends on your tension as well, of course, but using this yarn. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the size of yarn we're working with. The other differences I noticed with this yarn is that the Ricorumi, it feels like it's almost shinier, if that makes sense, in comparison to the Happy Chenille, which while it's shiny, it's a little bit flatter, it's a little bit more matte. But overall, I actually like both, and I would say use either. Try them both and see what you think. I don't have a huge preference on which I prefer. Mostly what I've been guided by when I've used one or the other is actually the colour range. So, you know, if I wanted a particular colour and the Nilli, it wasn't in the Nilli, I would find it in the Happy Chenille collection that I had, so, and vice versa. So it was very much so based on colour for me than anything else. Enough about practicalities though, let's jump forward to this year and let me show you what I've got so far. Now this year I am excited to announce that I will be releasing more egg animals, but I'm not creating a new collection this year. This year I am simply adding to all 3 collections. Well, at least that's what I'm planning to do. 2 of them are already done, so my plan is 2 new egg animals for each of the existing collections. So the 2 in front of me right now are joining the Eggy Paw Pals. We have Toto the tiger, which I absolutely love, and Toto's pattern is already up on my blog. So it is already, the pattern's already available for free. Go check those links in the description. But, you know, he's been tested, and my pattern testers makes so cute as well. So that is Toto. I'm really, really pleased with how this one has turned out. Then we have Ricky the Raccoon. So this little one is currently out for testing, so the pattern isn't available yet, but it will be by next week. If you're watching this after the 2nd week in April, it will definitely already be up on my blog, so go check it out. But they are the first 2 releases for this year. And obviously I have grand plans, and you've stuck around this long, so I'm going to show you a little bit behind the scenes of my design process and what I have planned. So let me get my drawing book out. Yes, I draw my designs, and I will show you what I have planned. I will show you, originally I was tossing up between a fox, a tiger and a raccoon for the Eggy Paw Pals, but because I didn't want to be too overambitious, and, you know, ideally I would love to do 3 for each collection this year, I just know that I won't get that done in time. So I've narrowed it down to 2. So what you're going to see is 3 designs for the Eggy Farm Friends next, but I'm only going to make 2 of them. So I hope you're not too disappointed about the 2 that I've chosen. So here are rough, very, very rough sketches. I am not amazing at drawing these out, but you will see, hopefully see the thought process that goes behind them. So I've got a horse up here. I'm going to remember what order they're in. A duck and a goat. So remember, we're talking Eggy Farm Friends for these. I have decided I'm going to go ahead and do the duck, and I'm also going to do the goat. So keep an eye out for those. They are the next ones I'm going to work on after Little Raccoon has been released. And then finally, the Eggy Mythical Mates. I have 3 ideas, and to be honest with you, I think I know which ones I'll go with, but I'm not 100% sure. So these may change. The 2 that I decide on in the end may change. But we have a Pegasus, a gnome, and a dragon. So that is it. That's what's coming. Let me know in the comments which ones you're most excited about, or which ones out of all the ones I've shown you already that you like the best. I would really, really love to hear from you, and if you are going to make one, please let me know and please share a photo. I would love to see your makes. That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed going through this journey of Eggy animals with me. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, you do me a huge favour if you can hit that thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. I would genuinely really love to hear from you. And if you're interested in more crochet videos like this one, plus tutorials and more free patterns, and turn the little bell on so you get notified when any new videos are released. Until next time, happy crocheting!